Mr. Speaker, I rise to honor the remarkable life and the legacy of a former constituent, Mr. Terry Anderson. When I was first running for Congress, I had the occasion of meeting someone who was known to be a local advocate and a local activist. But the name was familiar to me, Terry Anderson. And I met with this gentleman, and I heard his story, and it was one that was familiar to me from my childhood and one that was familiar probably to many of you. Because in 1985, Mr. Anderson became quite well known the world over when he was kidnapped in Lebanon and held hostage by Hezbollah until his release in the very, very late days of 1991. He was kidnapped when he was a reporter for the Associated Press. He was a correspondent who fearlessly pursued truth in some of the world's most volatile regions, and his commitment to on-the-ground eyewitness reporting was unwavering. This continued his path. He had begun his inquisitive time in life through his service in the Marine Corps, where he rose to the rank of staff sergeant, and he saw combat during the Vietnam War. And it was this time when he was in captivity in Lebanon that he brought back home a support for those who continue the mission of collecting knowledge, who continue the mission of reporting hard facts on the ground. Mr. Anderson continued to advocate for press freedom worldwide throughout the remainder of his career. Once he returned back home to the United States, he lived in many places. He even once ran for elected office in Ohio. He taught university-level journalism. He opened a few restaurants, a horse ranch, a blues bar, and for a time, he lived on a farm in Orange County, Virginia, which is when I had the opportunity to meet him and, frankly, eat some of his extraordinary cooking. He was a man of many interests. He was a man of great passion. He was a man who loved and spoke often of his children. And he was a man who inspired me. I'm grateful I had the opportunity to meet him, to learn from him, and upon his passing, I wish his family the very best. And towards the end of his life, he once remarked, "I've lived so much and I've done so much, I'm content." His legacy has left an indelible mark on our world. His resilience, his courage have set an example for so many of us. And I ask my colleagues, please join me in remembering Terry Anderson. I yield back.